Fears of cell phone use and the possible effects of radiation on the human body are growing as the 5G period approaches. We have compiled the views on this new generation technology and its effects on human health. As many countries, including Germany, began using 5th generation (5G) mobile networks and major telecommunications companies launching 5G-enabled devices, the issue of whether last-generation mobile phone communication is harmful to health has also been the subject of debate. What makes 5G different? 5G, the newest generation of mobile communications, uses high frequency and bandwidth that allows users to transfer data faster than the old mobile phone standards, at 10 gigabits per second. Previous G networks used frequencies between 700 MHz and 6 GHz. The 5G network operates at frequencies from 28 to 100 GHz. By comparison, 4G is expected to be 10 times faster than 3G, while 5G is expected to be 1,000 times faster than 4G. Swedish telecommunications giant Ericsson predicts that by 2024, 5G coverage will cover 40% of the world's population. Short-length millimeter waves used in 5G that cannot reach very long distances should be supported with reinforcing antennas that will be placed on average every 150 meters. In addition to the signal transmitting towers located in rural and urban areas, it is possible to see the amplifier antennas placed in street signs, street lights and even mailboxes in the near future, as it will be necessary to increase the frequency levels for 5G networks. X-ray devices used for medical imaging are considered high frequencies, while television antennas, radio stations, or cell phone base stations use low-frequency radio waves to transmit information. Wave frequencies of different length interact with the human body in different ways. However, an increase in the number of low-frequency antennas also increases the rate of radiation exposure from radio frequency. Science people awarded the UN. About 250 scientists from around the world recently submitted a petition to the United Nations (UN) and the World Health Organization (WHO). Scientists said that radio and cordless telephones, 2G, 3G and 4G networks, and broadcast antennas pose a risk of cancer due to the electromagnetic field (EMF) radio waves they produce, and their concerns in this regard. The petition included an increased risk of cancer, cellular stress, an increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damage, structural and functional changes of reproductive systems, learning and memory deficits, neurological disorders and negative well-being of people. Stating that all organisms living in the world are affected by electromagnetic fields produced by smartphones and signal transmission towers, scientists noted that there is increased evidence of harmful effects on both plant and animal life. This statement is not limited to people. On the other hand, numerous scientific studies on 2G, 3G and 4G technologies have shown that human exposure to electromagnetic fields has consequences such as stress, sperm and testicular damage, changes in electrical activity in the brain, neuropsychiatric effects, cellular DNA damage, and calcium overload. Cancer diagnosed. Ms. Sarah Dreesen from the Electromagnetic Environmental Compatibility Research Center at Aachen University in Germany highlights a study that shows a clear link between strong radio frequency fields and cancer-diagnosed mice. Tests performed on mice exposed to electromagnetic fields for 9 hours a day over a 2-year period reveal changes in the nervous system, including the brain, heart, and testicles, and increased cell death. It should not be forgotten that 5G technologies were not developed at the time of this research. Despite all this, WHO's International EMF Project, which investigates the health effects of electromagnetic fields on people, emphasizes that no significant public health risks arising from electromagnetic fields have arisen within the scope of the EMF research carried out for decades. Target minimum radiation. The German Federal Office for Radiation Protection (BfS) has proposed a comprehensive investigation into the health risks posed by 5G technology. The institution also conducts various guideline studies on how people can protect themselves against cell phone radiation. Especially considering the increasing data transfer volumes, the radiation that people are exposed to while talking on the phone should be kept to a minimum, recommends using landlines instead of smartphones. BfS recommends keeping mobile phone calls as short as possible, benefiting from text messaging, and not making phone calls when signal reception is poor. It is also among the recommendations of BFS that using headphones when making a phone call exposes the head part to less radiation and needs more distance between the device and the body. As a result, BFS notes that there is no link between cancer that often develops over 20 to 30 years, and 5G radiation. 5G technology is still new to achieve such a conclusion.